All right, I am John Wojtovich, and we are here in the Better Rate Mortgage Studio. I'm here with one of our newer loan officers, Dan Myers here. Dan, welcome to the team. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you.
Now, we wanted to bring Dan here on. He's one of the newer loan officers, and he's already doing a fantastic job. Want to make sure here at the audience, you got a chance to see what he does, how he's gotten into the business, and really just get to know him a little bit more. So, Dan, tell me a little about yourself. Talk about what you've done in the industry. Give us an idea who you are.
Yeah, man. No, I've been in the industry about 6 years now. No prior experience, believe it or not. A buddy of mine called from one of the big lenders out there and said, oh, this place is amazing, and they do all these prizes, and you can make a lot of money. And I had been in food service, forever, one way or another, with restaurants and hotels, and taking care of just people in general. So I said to him, I don't know anything about mortgages at the time. So he tells me they train you and everything. So I took a shot one day, and I did that for a couple of years. I went to do the loan officer thing for another year or two after that, and went back into the sales end of it, and then here we are. So yeah, man, it's been a fun ride so far.
Awesome. We love having you on the team. Now, tell me a little bit. You've been in and out of the game. You're on the wholesale side. You were helping mortgage brokers. Now you're on the mortgage broker side. Why should people use a mortgage broker as opposed to a bank? From your experience.
Well, it's as simple as, like I tell people, when you go to, let's say you want to buy a new vehicle and you want a truck, right? You don't go to the one dealership down the road and say, I want a truck, and they say, this is what we have, and you pick from that. That's it, right? You shop around. You go to your foreign, your domestic, you go to all these different dealerships, and you work the best deal. Well, that's what I do for the borrowers, right?
So to make sure we're on the same page, you are essentially going to all the biggest lenders for your clients, shopping them, saving them time, energy, headache. That's what you do as a mortgage broker.
Absolutely, to get them the absolute best price, because different lenders, different banks, they do have different pricing, right? So as one place you could get XY deal, another place you can get ABC deal. So that being said, I'm the one out there, and they don't even have to pay me to do it. The banks pay me to bring them the loan.
Right. And the great thing about that is, you have some investors where, for the audience, they may focus on investment properties. They may focus on just straight up investors. They may focus on first-time home buyers, down payment assistance.
Sure.
There's a lot of specialties that you as a mortgage broker can monopolize on and to help your clients. So that's awesome. We love hearing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, talk to me a little bit. You work with a lot of different clients. What kind of clients have you really been focusing on as of late?
When you get back into it, as I have, you start out with the people you know, right? See if anybody's your friends, your family, your colleagues, whoever's looking to buy something, you can help them out there. And then the networking, you know what I mean? And reaching out to realtor friends and starting ground level really with everybody I know. And then you start getting into more of the social media stuff where you're really reaching out to just the general population.
Right. I know we spoke previously in this market. You've been helping out a lot of investors. You've been helping out a lot of people that are looking for some real weird and odd deals, some commercial stuff,
Absolutely.
some bank statements, some great stuff that can really help them. And I know you've been working with a few of the first-time home buyers, so kind of all over the board is what I know you've been seeing.
Well, and that's another reason I came here to Better Rate, because I've also talked to a lot of other mortgage broker shops that don't even have what we have available to us when it comes to some of the the commercial apartment buildings and loans where you don't really even need documentation. It's great having the full spectrum of products that we're able to offer for people, that we can pretty much do almost anything, really. It's fantastic.
Which is one of the advantages of being with a mortgage broker, because you have those options available to you. So, well, awesome.
Absolutely.
Now, when you were buying your first home, and you were working with a mortgage professional, obviously is long before you got in the game.
Oh yeah.
What are some of the red flags? What is something you wish you would have known right up front?
Oh man. Yeah, I had no idea when I bought a house. I just listened to, somebody said, go to this person. And I said, tell me what I got to do. Right. My first loan was an FHA loan, government backed loan, which are fantastic loans. I didn't have a ton of money at the time to put down, so it's only 3.5% down. Right. I didn't know what my credit was. I didn't know anything about credit. So at the time, that was just kind of like, this is what I got to do to get a house. I went with a bank. They didn't tell me all the ins and outs and the different things I was able to do. right? So, yeah, I think if it comes down to like, look, if you're thinking about buying a house, let me know. Get with a mortgage broker. Don't just call your bank or, like I said, going back to the dealership story, right? They have what they have and that's it. And the stuff you see online and on TV, these ads that they pay millions of dollars for, they got to pay for those ads. So, they're making their money back somehow, and they, again, don't have the flexibility that we have here.
Yeah, and the consumer is the one that's paying all those massive marketing dollars. So
Absolutely.
we can offer some more competitive pricing and some more competitive programs. For your clients, if you could give them a hit list of what are the red flags to look out for when you're buying your first home that you need to have together up front, these mistakes to avoid.
Well, I mean, you want to make sure your job's in line, right? You want to make sure you don't quit your job, and start a new job in the middle of the process or right now, especially the self-employed folks. We have a couple of one-off programs, but, if you're self-employed, you want to make sure your taxes are in line. You got your bank statements in line. Just anything that can affect your credit, like buying a new car, pulling credit for new credit cards, the store credit cards that you guys love to have for Macy's and Nordstrom's and Home Depot, get that stuff all clear out of the way and just don't really mess with anything while you're getting ready to buy a house,
Yeah.
That's kind of the basics I could think of right now.
Yeah.
For prepping to get a home.
Right, and the big thing is those assets. Don't start moving money around.
Oh yeah.
We've seen clients in the past where they'll take money and they'll move it up, down, left, right, and sideways, and we have to track all that stuff. The government highly regulates bank statements for anti-money laundering. So, for any of our clients, future clients, past clients, do not move your money around every which way when you are trying to buy a house. They're at minimum going to want 2 months bank statements if for a normal traditional program. Put the money away. Put it in a nice safe bank account. Don't use mattress money. They're not going to allow that. So let's not play these games with that. So
yeah, and you were talking 90%, if not more, of the loans that are out there, right? You got your one-offs here and there, but like you said earlier, the people I target and talk to on a normal daily basis, that's your regular people. Your people got a job. You know what I mean? They get paid hourly or salary, right? That's your basic. So that you just want to keep all that in line in the process leading up to buying a home. So it just makes the process that much easier.
Awesome. Well, thanks for that insight on that. Now, you've been in the game for a while. You're seeing the market right now. What are you thinking? Are you foreseeing any kind of crashes? Are you seeing any kind of dumps in the market? I know I've been getting a lot of clients asking me, I'm waiting around for a crash. How long? What are your thoughts on that?
I watch a lot and I read a lot about it. And you got some of the guys that's just saying nothing's going to happen, right? It is what it is right now. You got a lot of guys that's saying, yeah, in a couple years, maybe 3 to 5 years, there's going to be a crash. And your homes right now that are, take your average, $300,000 home, and they're saying, it's going to be worth $150. I don't believe that end of the spectrum either, right? So I'm somewhere in the middle. These crazy rates that are going on right now and these house prices that are through the roof, they're going to climb up, I think, maybe the rest of this year. And next year they're going to level off. That's just, putting everything together from what I've read. I'm not the expert on this. You can't predict this kind of thing. But
right, we wouldn't be working doing this. We'd be billionaires.
If I could predict rates and what the housing markets do, yes, I would be hanging out with Musk and Bezos at this point. But I think it's just going to level off, right? It might come down a little bit. We're seeing a lot of these rates right now in the mid to high 5%, 6% range. I think that'll kind of back down over the next year or two down to the, that 4% range. Housing prices will kind of level off, maybe come down a little bit. I don't think they're going to go total crash, but I don't think it's going to keep doing this. It can't. The economy, you just can't sustain something like that. You know what I mean? So, but like I said, do I think it's going to keep going up with the rate and the price of the homes over the next year or two? Probably, which is why, now's the time to really, I know the market's tough and there's not a lot of inventory out there, right? But now's the time to get in on it.
Right.
That's just kind of my mindset right now.
Right. And, some of our clients we've even been recommending, we know you guys want to live in the city, you want to live in these real close-knit areas. Sadly at this point, what you're going to pay over in a house, go buy some land, go get something a little bit outside of town. Might be an extra 20 minutes to drive to work, but hell, if you can save yourself $60,000 on a house.
Yeah, more affordable.
Yeah, focus on the long-term scheme, and then maybe one day you turn it into a rental property. Maybe you switch to an Airbnb if it's in an area that can sustain that. There's so many options that you can do to leverage your money in this market.
Sure.
What was the old saying with Warren Buffett? when there's blood in the streets, try and pick up as much as you can. You know,
Well,
that's where we're at.
Well, nothing's permanent, right? You can go in and you go buy a house and it's I got a 30-year mortgage. You can change that with refinances and selling and buying in whatever, in a few months, next year. Nothing's permanent long time. You're never locked into anything forever, you know. So you're always going to have options. You know, you never know what life's going to do to you either.
Right.
You know, in a couple of years, you might get that job offer 3 states away. You need to sell your house or rent it out. I mean,
there's so much money in rentals now that
Exactly,
you can,
yeah.
money hand over fist. I mean,
you know,
and the other great thing is, you know, we have so many mortgage advisors that are experts that can advise you long term. So, you know, for our clients, that's a great advantage for you to have someone who understands the market up, down, left, and right, and realize that your life changes. So, you know, Dan, thank you so much for your time. It's been great chatting with you.
absolutely.
We'll go ahead and get back to work. And
Yeah, let's do it.
anyone, thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone.